We got Houston versus Duke. So you got Duke favored by 4.5 right now. The over-under is 135.5. Significantly lower.
Really?
I
Yeah.
got I got him by 5.5.
Ooh, it could have went up. Wow, that's crazy. That's a point. So they're
Mhm.
high on Duke. Duke beat Houston 54-51 in last year's Sweet 16. This year,
Mhm.
you got the number one offense in Duke going up against the number one defense in
Mhm.
Houston. This means war. Duke is averaging 92 points per game in the tournament thus far, and Houston is allowing 57 per game on average in the tourney thus far. That's madness. Crazy high, crazy low. Who wins this game and how?
Well, I'm going with Duke just because the strength of Duke at all levels. I think it surpassed maybe two notches from Houston because Houston has trouble shooting sometimes.
Mhm.
So with Duke doing what they can and Cooper Flag out there playing out of his mind, I gotta go with those guys. It's gonna be a matchup problem, but just like with Duke, man, they start early, they get on fire, bro, and they do not let the foot off of their necks. So, with that being said, Duke got the high heritage. They've always been in these type of situations. What you said, 18. This is their 18th Final Four. So they
18th
know.
Final
So
Four.
they know what they're doing, man. They live here. They're like the Celtics. They're like the Lakers. They live in those moments. So with that being said, Cooper Flag, I feel like he'll have a pretty decent game, but I feel like he's gonna get a lot of people involved. But Cryer, man, I believe Cryer's gonna get his. He's definitely gonna get his. But
Mhm.
like I say, just all in all, man, I think it's gonna be more than those 5 points. I think it'll be more than those five.
Wow, you that high on Duke?
I am.
Houston is going to give Duke their biggest challenge of the
They
year.
are. They
They
really
are
will.
relentless on
I can
defense. I'm
believe that.
talking constant pressure. Game plan for Houston will be forcing Duke into uncomfortable and off-balance shots. I believe they will zero in on Cooper Flag and
Oh yeah.
pressure him to committing
Got
turnovers,
to.
which we've seen it. We've seen that at times. Cooper Flag
Mhm.
will try to do too much and
Yeah.
then he'll turn the ball over. But this is the best Cougar team I've ever personally watched.
Hmm.
I mean, LJ Cryer, he was nice before he got there 2 years ago. Milos Uzan, he's for real. He had a bad game last game versus Tennessee, but he's solid, bro. And he's
Hmm.
another transfer. And Emmanuel Sharp, bro, 16 points last game. He busted Tennessee ass last
Yeah, he
game.
did.
But he's their spark. He's the heart and the soul of that team, man. And Houston, tell you what, they're the best defensive team in college basketball. They are.
Yeah.
They're elite and they're
Hmm.
hungry for their first ever national championship. They are. You got guys like this who are star-studded and like in Houston, they've actually had this year is a better scoring year for Houston than normal. That's what makes them like so
A
much
little bit
better
more
than usual.
dangerous. Hmm.
Now, they always got an elite defense, but this year they got the scoring that goes right along with it, better than they've had in recent years. Duke, on the other hand, this is just another Saturday for Duke. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, March,
Whatever.
April. It's just another tourney. They do this year in, year out. They're doing it,
They're battle
you know.
tested.
But this year they're doing it with incredible offensive efficiency. We all know Cooper Flag as a freshman is going to be the number one overall pick in the draft. That's a given. But you got Tyrese Proctor. He is a baller. He's been playing great for the most part. Con Knipple, bro, he's baby Austin Reeves,
He is. Yeah, he
tearing it
is.
up out there. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
another potential 1-and-1 done,
Hmm.
for Duke as a freshman player. Duke as a team this season, do y'all know they're shooting 496 from the field?
As a
This
team.
entire season, that entire Duke team is shooting 496 from the field.
Basically
Almost
1 or
50%.
2.
50% of
1 or
their
2.
shots
Hmm.
made this year. That is crazy when you sit there and look at it from a statistical point of view. That's nuts. But that being said, I fully expect Duke to rise up to the challenge of Houston's great defense. What people aren't talking about is Duke is also a great defensive team.
Hmm.
Last game we just talked about, they shut down Bama completely, a top offense in the league, and their top player, and Mark Sears, held them to 6 points on 2 of 12 shooting. They don't get enough credit for being a great defense. They are a great defensive
Hmm.
team as well, and
Yeah.
people are just talking about how great Houston is because they might be better than Duke defensively, but offensively and defensively as a whole, I got to give Duke the edge, man. I got to give it to the Blue Devils. I think they win this game, and obviously they are Duke, man. So I got Duke winning. I think they'll cover that 4.5. I have at 4.5, but I was kind of iffy on that. I think Houston's gonna be right there with them, but I think they can cover 5 points, and I'm going over. Set it low at 135.5 because of the superb defense from both teams,
Hmm.
specifically,
Hmm.
Houston, but. I'm going over. I think both teams will do enough to go over 135.5.
So I basically second everything you just said, Jordan. Duke, they're blue blood. They're actually the overall number one team um, coming into the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
They played like that. Cooper Flag, obviously, like you said, number one, he's going to be the number one pick. That Knuckle guy has been fucking balling his ass off as
That's
well.
baby Reeves, man. That's baby Austin
I was
Reeves.
I
He
was
plays
very
just like
impressed.
Austin Reeves.
The past two games, he's really impressed me. Like he's fucking legit. He could probably be the number one if Cooper Flag wasn't there. Houston's defense is very very good. Top defense left or coming in or in the country coming in. Um, they say defense wins championships, but it's kind of hard when you're going up against a team who has the top offense and a top defense. So they're going to get their buckets on you, and they have good enough defense to slow your ass
Got
down
some
as well.
stops. Hmm.
So I see it being. I think it's going to be a close game. I think probably Duke will pull away in the last 3 minutes or so when fouls start coming into play, and they're just basically shooting free throws and shit to close it out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think, like I said, Houston's going to put up a fucking a good game for them. But I'm going to take Duke to win this game.
All right, so you got Houston covering the 4.5.
Uh,
You think Duke will win by at least 5?
I think they'll win by at least five. Yep.
All right, so you got Duke covering. You going over or under the 135.5?
I'll go over.
All right. What
I'm
about
a,
you, Sam? You going over or under?
I'm going under. I'm going
All
under
right.
on mine.
And I know you got Duke covering.
Got Duke covering.
All right. Well, that's crazy. We're all in agreement. That don't happen too much.